Everybody, Chris here. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a 2-year outlook for Dogecoin and the crypto market. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel, hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when new videos come out as well as when I do live streams. And during live streams, I get a lot of questions about the next bear market, as well as, of course, how high is everything going to go in the rest of this bull market? Do we still believe in the 4-year cycle? So I'm going to show you all of that in the charts. Let's get into it. Let me show you what I'm looking at. I'm going to start here looking at the current Dogecoin chart. We're about 21.5 cents right now. We're zoomed out. We're on the weekly. We're on the weekly looking at the 50-week moving average and the weekly chart. And we'll be looking at the outlook going forward in just a minute, not only for Dogecoin, we're going to look at Bitcoin, we're going to look at Ethereum. We're also going to look at total market cap, total 2, which is all the alts, and Bitcoin dominance. But first, let's start with what's going on right now. Bitcoin breaks below 110,000. Bears are steering the ship short term as price slips further. Both volume and open interest fading. Never a good look for immediate upside. Social chatter is split. ETF outflows, profit taking dominate. Yeah, we got some profit taking going on. Permabulls cite deepening DeFi roots, steady institutional flows. So a lot of that is going on, right? We've got, of course, the market makers controlling the market again, doing a liquidity sweep down to the downside again. We got all of the shorts up here, right? The shorts are winning right now, but this is classic, right? Also going into PCE inflation numbers coming out on a Friday morning, which this could be the sweep before we get a little rip on a Friday. We'll be talking about all of this Friday afternoon live stream. Yes, I'm live every day, 4 o'clock p.m. East Coast time. Make sure you're subscribed. You got your notifications on so you know when the live streams happen. We have a lot more interaction going on then. But look, as Crypto says, look, stock market is hitting a new all-time high. We talked about this yesterday. While Bitcoin and ETH are crashing. Well, not really crashing, right? Little weakness, let's say. It's going down a bit. But this is the sign of pure market manipulation by the big cartels and exchanges to liquidate all the high and low leverage longs before a massive pump in Q4. Okay, so I'm not the only one saying it, right? But looking at the 4-year cycles, there's going to be a pump coming. So those market makers and exchanges, they want to install fear just like they did when ETH crashed down to 1385, making everyone believe it's dead. And then they pumped ETH 3.5 times in 4 months to a new all-time high. They're running the same playbook with altcoins now. I'm serious when I say again, don't get shaken out. This is pure manipulation. 2 to 3 rate cuts are coming. Liquidity will flow into the market. So that's all coming. That is all coming. So survive the pullbacks, right? The dumps, whatever, so we can enjoy the rewards. So that is all that is coming. And finally, again, a reminder of our 4 phases where we'll have Bitcoin run. And we have had that again since early 2023. Bitcoin has been running. ETH just went on a big run. We're starting to see large caps, right? We're starting to see that. This is where we're in this phase right now, this phase overlap. And then we're going to have alt season. So that is the typical 4 phases. Is it going to follow again? Look, I'm believing the cycles will repeat again and again and again until they don't. So what is the theory? So I'm going to start not with Dogecoin because Dogecoin's going to do its thing. And you've seen my green boxes, right? Dogecoin goes on these big runs in very short periods of time, right? And I think there's one out here. But let's start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, as we're looking at this 50-week moving average, Bitcoin has done this many times before, where it bounces off the 50-week moving average before moving higher to end the cycle on a high note. This is 2021 back here. Even though we had an early run, right? We had an early run in the cycle up to 64,000. Then we had all the fear, right? Like China, banning mining, right? And Tesla stopping payments for cars with Bitcoin. A lot of FUD there. And we also had Doge, of course, right? Doge went to an all-time high and then crashed down. Heavy shorting in the market. Bitcoin responded to that as well and bounced off the 50-week moving average. And then again in September, there was another bounce before moving up higher to that new 69,000 all-time high. Eventually, right, Bitcoin coming back down, drops below and has consecutive weekly candles below the 50-week moving average, and that signals the coming bear market, which in 2022 led to Luna, Voyager, FTX, like all of that. All right, so what do? Bull market starts, 50-week moving average. Again, Bitcoin has not gone below that 50-week moving average. So, in 2 consecutive weeks. So, we're still in the bull market. Now, where does Bitcoin go? Well, you know I'm not a huge believer in these fib retracements, but when you get to price discovery and you get above where anything is traded before, you got to use something, right? And so a lot of people use this as a tool. And if we look at the 2.618, again, this is from the previous high to the low, you get $155,000 Bitcoin at the 2.618. That's what you get. And then if we go to the bear market and we think then you're going to have some retracement once you get up there, as soon as it drops below that 50-week moving average over 2 consecutive weeks, then we're in the bear. And how low do we go? Do we go down to the 0.26 at 28,000? Do we double the previous low from 15 to 30? Something like that. That is what the potential is for a bear market in crypto, is right there. Let's take a look at total market cap. Okay, total market cap. Same thing, right? Here we go. If we have total market cap going on a big run here in the fall, Q4 2025, and we go up to the 2.618, we're at 6.6 million or $6.6 trillion, right? So we're going to go from 3.75 to 6.67. So almost a 2x from here, from where we are right now. Now, Jordan Cameron, he's talking about the 4.23 up to $10 trillion, right? He thinks there's going to be a blow-off run, which is going to be more like what we saw in sort of that first run of 2021, or even as far back as 2017, and more that huge 2017 run, that second run where just everything went vertical. Maybe. I'm a little more conservative than him, so I'm going to be using the 2.618, so 6.6 trillion. And then, how low does everything go in the bear market in 2026? And let's just say it either doubles the low we had, so about 1.5 trillion, or you go to the 0.236, which is about 1.3 trillion. So right in that range. And again, alts are going to get hit harder though. So let's go from total market cap to total 2, right? We'll go to total 2 and we'll look at what that means here. Again, total 2 is all cryptos except Bitcoin. Again, goes on big runs as well in short periods of time, like Doge. And when we have that low, like we had back in 2022, that was the low there, right? We look at what the potential is up to the 2.618, that's 3.7 trillion, before then going down in a bear market. So that is, again, that's the repeat of the narrative of the 4-year cycles, just like we had 2022, right? Bear, right? That's the bear. If that repeats again, how low will it go? Now, we don't know for sure. And again, I'm just guessing it's either, maybe I'm just double what the low is of the 0.236 here on that same fib line. But we'll have to snap new fibs once we get the actual high, whatever that is. And we'll have to see what that could look like. So that's total 2. What does ETH look like? So ETH is here. Again, ETH has this habit of, and many alts too, once they get over that 50-week moving average, and they start to run. So ETH is already running according to this chart. ETH has already started its vertical run over the 50-week moving average for an alt. And how high does that go? Well, that's going to go to $11,000 ETH. If it gets to the 2.618, that would be $11,000 ETH. That is very bullish. That's very bullish for ETH right there. Meaning that Bitcoin is not going to move as much, right? From 110 to 155. But ETH is going to go from 4,300 to 11,000. That's over a 2x from here on ETH. That would be a strong move. We could look at the 1.618 and we could say, okay, that would be $7,100 ETH, which would be a more conservative number. But 2.618 gets us to 11,000. So that sets us up now for our discussion on Dogecoin. What is Dogecoin going to do here? Dogecoin is a laggard so far this cycle. It's a laggard. Right now it's below the 50-week moving average. And this is very similar to how Dogecoin has traded in the past before. The same thing has happened before. So we had in 2020, Dogecoin was sort of fighting the 50-week moving average. But when it started to go vertical, again, short periods of time, vertical, away we go. But it doesn't confirm the bear until some period of time because of the blow-off tops. The 50-week moving average, it kind of lags because of the explosion in the price. And then you don't realize you're in a bear until Dogecoin has already come down a lot. So you have to use the other indicators like Bitcoin and total market cap before following exactly what Doge does. So you got to be careful with that. So what does Doge end up doing? Well, if Doge goes on this vertical run, we've got a number of things here. Here's the previous all-time high, 73 cents. That's the previous all-time high we had from 2021. If you look at the 1.618, that would be $1.16. Right now, my box is drawn, the top of my box here is drawn at $1. But if we go to the 1.618, we're $1.16. If you go to the 2.61, you're at $1.85. A lot of people, you'll see $1.85 as price predictions for a blow-off top for Doge. If it goes vertical like it has before, again, Dogecoin trades vertically in short periods of time. Could we have this blow-off FOMO coming with Doge up to $1.85? But then what happens? Then you go into the bear market. And again, the indicator won't be Doge itself. The indicator will be Bitcoin and the total market cap to confirm bear market. How low will it go? People ask me, well, how low is Doge going to go in the next bear market? Well, if we double the previous low from 5 cents there to 10 cents, that would be really bearish. If you use the 0.236, you would be at 21 cents, 21 cent low. But even if you're up at $1.16 or even $1.85, to go all the way back down to 21 cents, that would be bearish. This is why we talk about taking profits. And again, some of you are just, you don't care what the price is, you just want to collect Doge because you're in a much longer time frame, right? Go through another 4-year cycle, you want to use your Doge as currency, like all of that stuff, awesome. Many investors, though, are looking at these kinds of setups and saying, maybe we should be taking some profits here. And then just holding on to that cash while the bear market does its bear market thing. Is that guaranteed? Absolutely not. We don't know Bitcoin is going to do this. We don't know Bitcoin is going to come all the way down to $30,000, right? And we're saying, oh, because the institutions and ETFs and all of this, Bitcoin will not go down that far. Bitcoin will probably find some level, maybe around 75,000, and that's as low as it goes. We don't know. And what's going to happen with Bitcoin dominance, right? Bitcoin dominance is probably going to come down. Again, I'm still predicting only 50%, not all the way down to 40 or 39 or, where it was last cycle. Because I still think Bitcoin has more strength in it. But we are going to see ETH and alts move more. So there will be a decrease in Bitcoin dominance. And then Bitcoin dominance is going to move back up. during the bear market because the alts are going to fall harder than Bitcoin. So that's the overall look right now. We can talk more about this, but that's kind of looking at where my thinking is on this 2-year outlook from where we are now, still ending the summer of 2025 before Q4, and then what a bear market could look like. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about this outlook. Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.